What's up, guys? Part-Time Gamer Dad here. Today we're going to do our very first 5-minute Raw recap. So let's hop into it. Now, this will be a quick snapshot of what happened on Raw, some key moments. We're not going to review everything because I like to talk about certain things. But let's start off with probably the saddest news coming out on Monday Night Raw, and that is that Rhea Ripley had to vacate her Women's World Championship due to an injury she sustained last week from a backstage assault from Liv Morgan. What this results in is over a year reign being unraveled right in front of our very eyes. I'm sure that there were a lot of plans to continue to build Rhea to be very strong. I had made a prediction in my last video saying that Rhea was going to defend in a Fatal 4-Way against Becky, Nia, and Liv. At this point, now we're going to crown a new Women's World Champion. And I would anticipate it might be Liv because Liv is the one who injured her, and that would make the most story sense. But I'm curious to see who else will be involved. There'll probably be the other players I just mentioned, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, and maybe some other folks, maybe like Chelsea Green, who won last night as well. I think that this is really a blow for the women's division. I really think that Rhea's title reign has picked up a lot of steam, especially with that win over Becky Lynch. And what's really sad about it is that she probably had a really great story to follow through the summer, which would have made the win over her, I would imagine by Liv Morgan, to be even more impactful. But now, what do you do? When she comes back, she's so beloved, do you turn her face? I do think we're going to see the disintegration of the Judgment Day over the next few months. And when she comes back, the Judgment Day may be no more. So does she, in the same character, in the same gimmick, come back kind of as a tweener slash face and take on whoever's the champion at that time? And maybe Liv Morgan goes heel. I think that would be a really great story. But all the best to Rhea. Hope you get better soon. Now, something kind of cool that happened last night, and I'm curious to know your thoughts on these in the comments below. Triple H came out and he unveiled new World Tag Team Championships. So the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships are no more. We are now having the World Tag Team Championships, and I would anticipate the WWE Tag Team Championships, very much like the early 2000s in the Ruthless Aggression era before we had that Morrison and Miz versus the Colognes unification match at WrestleMania 25. I dig it. I don't know how I feel about the design yet. It feels very much like a world title because it's very disky. It reminds me of the big eagle from the Attitude Era. But what I will say is that in terms of change, I really like this. Get rid of the titles that are specific to a brand and make them titles that can be more transient and nomadic in nature, that they can flip between the two shows and it's still fine. That's what we did in the Ruthless Aggression era. Titles could swap brands and it didn't impact anything because it wasn't branded to a show. So I really like that. I made a draft video, which I'm not going to update. I'm going to release it here tomorrow on Wednesday. And I think it'll kill some of my draft picks, but with the new titles being announced. But now we also have DIY challenging the Awesome Truth, which I think will be a great match. I would like to see DIY kind of become bad guys, and I'd like to see them go heel and win the tag titles. Not because I don't like Truth and Miz, but I'm like, what is the natural story conclusion? And obviously they've been tied into DIY, so that'd be a good one for me. The one other thing I'm going to talk about, I mean, there's a lot of things that happened on Raw. Sheamus returned. Welcome back, Sheamus. Cody kind of addressed his title feud coming up, and he addressed The Rock. But I want to talk about Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable because I called it a few weeks down the road at Backlash. But Chad Gable lost to Sami Zayn, and then he turned heel, which is the part I called. He turned heel. He attacked Sami Zayn, and it was glorious. It's exactly what Chad Gable needed for his character, and I'm really, really happy to see that this version of Chad Gable is revealing himself to the masses, because I think what's going to happen is it's going to make him a huge star. There's not a whole lot of really strong, like, mid-card heels that I think, from a storyline perspective, make a whole lot of sense to pair Sami Zayn at this moment. Chad Gable is the one, and I'm glad they didn't keep him as like a plucky babyface or an inspirational babyface. Turn him heel, have him win the title, and then have him go on a dominant run, very much like Gunther did. Maybe not to the same like extent and length, but man, he could have a hell of a run. So there you go, guys. That's your 5-minute Raw recap. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know down below, do you like this format? And I will see you very soon.